Yeah, those two guys are working together. They are casting together thingy. Oops, sorry about that. Was not supposed to be on the screen. My bad, my bad. They both are casting. They are co-casting and they have 2 viewers. I'm casting and I have 8. Ooh, I'm feeling good about myself. Thank you guys for watching. Much appreciated, every each and one of you. You are fantastic people. Anyways. Because it's not selected. That's why it's not working. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, all the peeps from the cult, I welcome you to the grand finals of GSCQ number 2, I believe. And that's basically best of 5 games between 2 best qualified players from the DeVoid community. You are looking at the main base of FreeZ, which is playing Terran in the blue colored pieces here on the left top corner of the 10,000 feet seas ladder edition, and he is playing a rematch. Yes, they met in the finals of upper bracket. It was in best of 3, and he is having a chance to hit back this guy, which has gone for 12 pull, and his name is Draco. And he is making links already, and I don't know where is his. He's gonna. No, that's gonna be denied natural by building engineering's way. But here comes the links. He's gonna try to be aggressive with them. He's sending one link back to deal with the NG bay. Okay. Nevertheless, yeah, that is Draco. He's playing Zerg in the purple colored pieces here on the bottom right corner. He started 12 pull, now he's dealing with this. Yeah, it was cancelled, that's really good. Meanwhile, yeah, the main has been walled off here for the Terran player. My usually strategy would be against Protoss players on this map specifically to mine this mineral patches out and do whatever the job needs to be done to get inside the main in the natural, which usually is walled with like pylon and like multiple buildings seeing like 12 pull, but this map is giving that kind of advantage. Anyways, yeah, Zerg player is keeping his links somewhere around. The SCV tried to get back home but understands that he cannot, because this is the unfortunate end for him. And yeah, Terran is building the natural on the high ground. He's gonna switch the barracks with the factory to get some Hellions move out, and he's building barracks again as a follow-up building, which means that he's going to go for 2-1-1 once again. We already saw that happening in the upper bracket finals, which we casted. But yeah, the second game he was pretty good with the push, and yeah, Draco did overestimate himself into reading that game out. I think he's running the Zerglings around right now, looking if there aren't any proxy things being built right now. Well, there's not. And this SCV is actually low HP and it's sitting safely here in the corner, and the natural flies in from the main base. The overlord of the Zerg player will confirm that. Also, it will confirm that 4 Hellions are moving out for the aggression. Draco is defensively. Actually, he's decently walling off. Yeah, he's walling himself in. It's like semi-wall off with a Roach Warren, Spine Crawler, and Evolution Chamber and Queen in between, and actually sending another Queen help. He's going for lair pretty fast. That's still from one base. He's fully saturated into the main, into the natural, and he's taking 2 more gases. So what is this? Is this going to be... I'm guessing now Is it going to be like +1 roaches with the speed timing, or it's gonna be German taxi? Well, there's only 3 queens and there is no 4th queen being produced. No, decision is actually in favor of Spire. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Talking about goofy builds. The Spinecrawler successfully gets one of the Hellions down. What's happening on the other side? We have Marines and 2 Medivacs. The steam pack is almost done. And there is a lot more Marines, and there's actually a siege tank being built right now. Well, the Hellions are holding the Zerg player here a little bit choked from the taking the 3rd base, which now was the roaches were built for, to shoo the Hellions away, and then it's gonna be double expansion. It's gonna be 3rd and 4th at the same time. And this is actually quite dangerous, especially against the siege tanks, since siege tanks can siege up over here and they can reach the mineral lane, the mining drones over here, so that could be really painful for the Zerg player if such are the situation. But that will be the aggression. Well, unfortunately for the Zerg player, the Spire was scouted immediately by scanning it, by scanning the main base, and yeah. I don't know, is that going to halt the attack? It's a good question. Anyways, the Zerg is going for +1 armor, he's going for link speed just now, and he's going for roach speed also. Meanwhile, there is a push force of Marines and siege tank joining in. There are no Ravagers here that could be denying the siege tank. And I believe the army supply here is also quite in the negative. I believe it's twice as big for the Terran player over here. And now there are a couple of siege tanks. Yes, there is missile turrets being built at the home. That is the expense of having the Spire over here. The Terran is expecting Mutas. But actually there are no units for the Zerg player over here. Well, the 3rd base aggression were held back, but that cost 7 drones. That's 1 siege tank down. And there's only 3 biles needed to shut down 1 siege tank, but 4 Ravagers is really good count. Therefore you can lose 1 and still manage to shut down the siege tank if you do wish to do so. Well, the biles were not used in this case, it was just sniped the 2nd siege tank. The biles are being used to shoot the medivacs away over here. Drones were saved. And yeah, unfortunately that's most of the tech buildings down for the Zerg player. He must build the Roach Warren and Evolution Chamber back again to be able to continue what he has started. Obviously he cannot go for Mutas because Marines will deal with them quite successfully, and the main base and natural already, as we already saw in a production tab, has a missile turret. And Terran player here is on 2 base all-in situation, and he is going to keep doing the pressure. That's 13 drones down from the natural, and that's economy for the Zerg player hurt a lot. He's 9 workers down right now. No, 8 workers down. Sorry, my bad. Yes, the army supply is in his favor. The +1 armor was not finished and he is starting it again. And meanwhile, he's actually going to build 6 Mutas on back of it. They might give you some advantage to shut down probably the siege tanks, like if you like flank them behind, you know, you go around. But unfortunately, yeah, the bases are well protected with the missile turrets. Hello Tuki, welcome, welcome. There is a 90-second delay, unfortunately. That's good biles. It's actually getting two medivacs down. The Lings are doing some job. Marines will shut down this, and the Mutas are arriving over here. Will they manage before the missile turret is finished? Answer is no, and that's actually 2 missile turrets, so no. No good. The medivacs evacuate the troops. Unfortunately, they will be called out. That's 1 full medivac going down. Ooh, how unlucky, or lucky for the Zerg player in this situation. Unfortunate as that. A siege tank is dropped. That's one of them going down. The other one almost was got down by the biles. The mutas are sent to the natural to harass the production buildings. The biles are trying to shut down some more stuff. The SCVs are being pulled and GG is called, and Draco takes game number 1. Let's jump into game number 2. So welcome back to the game number 2 of the grand finals of GSCQ tournament thingy of Magic, and you are looking at the main base of Draco, which is playing Zerg in the purple colored Zerg pieces in the purple color here on the bottom side of Mothership, and he is playing against FreeZ, which is the Terran player in the blue colors here on the right top corner. This is the 3 spawning point map, so there is this corner possible also, so they both actually do not know where the opponent is, and the first overlord of the Zerg is going to the left side. Can Terran player abuse that kind of advantage is a good question. He could, if he builds double barracks here on the bottom side. Is he gonna do that? Or is it gonna be... Yeah, it's double barracks here on the bottom side, but it's like actually command center first. So it could be multiple racks into mass marine, or it could be just reapers, or mass reapers even. Anyways, yeah, the Zerg player pretty much has no idea where the Terran player is unless he has map hacks or something like that, but obviously this is a fair game. Our community doesn't do that kind of stuff. People are blaming that we are, but as far as I know, nobody is doing that shit. Anyways, yeah, the Zerg is building 4 lings, which will be used as defensive tool in case there is reapers coming, which is a good idea. And he's going for the 3rd base in triangle placement. So basically, usually the Zerg is kind of the suggestive strategy for Zerg when choosing the bases is to use the bases which are further away from the opponent, so you will be ready to prepare for whatever the push is happening, if it's happening. Here comes the links, they find out. So as soon as the overlord reached the natural base of this left corner, it was kind of clear that the Terran player is not there. Therefore, the furthest base, possible base, which is closest to the main base, is this in the triangle area. Anyways, the lings are poking in, they are finding the marines, but they are not getting any scouting information other than there is a 2 barracks and there is a steam pack research probably. Marines are being produced, and then, well, we can assume already as a Zerg that it's 2-1-1. Excuse me, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's like 4 racks, which would be pretty fancy build. Anyways, there is actually reactor built on the factory, so it's 2-1-1 basically. Yeah, that's reactor on factory. He will switch with the starport, and that will be 2 full medivacs of marines flying over the map. And Draco is actually going for defensive Roach Warren once again. He might be suspecting something from his opponent. Has he seen inside the main base? No, he has not. Even though he can fly in with an overlord, I believe he's not really feeling confident that that could be happening because, well, marines, right? No, he is actually deciding to do that. There you go. And he's actually producing 8 roaches right now, so I believe that that will be some aggression here from the Zerg player. He has 3 gases mining, which means that it might be actually Ling Roach Ravager attack right now towards the opponent. Well, there are 2 medivacs. Marines over here with medivacs. There's no anti-air units over here for the Zerg, and he's already halfway over the map. The siege tank is being built. The siege tank actually could have pretty safe positions from those biles, but how will Zerg player defend himself is the question right now. Well, Marines are being dropped right here along the way before going in, maybe thinking that he will enter the third base, but third base is not here, obviously. And now he receives notifications that there is a big link flood going into his main base. Well, he didn't have closed wall off over here, and his tech lab died over here. Yeah, the siege tank is sieged, and the SCVs are pulled to repair, but that's fully natural going down, and those are going to be 2 dead barracks if they are not lifted. Meanwhile, the Terran player is here into the natural base of the Zerg player, though Marines are also taking down about 20 drones. Well, I believe that those supply depots were biled down. The siege tank was almost biled down. That was actually saved by the medivacs. And yeah, the biles are trying to hound down the medivacs, but they are going to try to shut down as many buildings as possible over here. Meanwhile, actually, Terran player is building proxy base right next to Draco's proxy base, so that's really good. They are becoming friendly neighbors. Well, the drones build 4 spines over here, but the supply, the spawning pool gone down, and yeah, the Marines are gunning down the main base right now. Well, the units here, yeah, the Ravagers are chasing after the orbital. There is the starport flying around. The army is still on that side of the map. Siege tanks are being sieged, and they will try to shut down as many drones and the spine crawlers as possible. And they will successfully do so. There are actually mules being dropped to repair the siege tanks and rub some salt into the wound of the Zerg player for this kind of trade. But they both doesn't know that they are actually neighbors over here. Draco, does he have any... The question is, who has idea about... Actually, yeah, they have no idea about each other, so... That's funny. Well, there is a third base of Draco over here, so the Terran could be actually going for that. Well, the army of the Zerg is returning. That's a lot of Ravagers and lots of Lings, so that could be a nail in a coffin here for the Terran player. That's nice biles, it shuts down the siege tanks, and the medivacs are evacuating the Marines upstairs. That's only 3 Marines. The starport is flying to the bottom corner. I don't know where is the orbital. Did it go down? It might have gone down. Does the Draco has the idea? I think the Draco has the idea. Yeah, his overlords pretty much found out the sneaky corner base over here. And the Lings are here to finish the job. GG's called, and Draco takes game number 2. And let's jump into game number 3, which could be already the match point for Mr. Draco over here. Alrighty then. Welcome back to the grand finals. And we are in game number 3, which could be match point for the Zerg player, which is awaiting his introduction. But first we start with the Terran player here on the left top corner of Winter Madness, and his name is FreeZ, playing in blue with blue colored pieces over here. And his opponent, the man, the myth, the legend, who is on the match point game, probably, possibly, maybe, who knows what, and his name is Draco, playing in the purple color pieces, the Zerg in the bottom right corner, which is actually going for spawning pool first. That's not a... I believe that's a 14 pool. It's a pool first, definitely, or maybe faster than that. It could be 13. Should it have been 12? I don't think it's a 12. No, it's not a 12. Well, the hatchery is down. Does this information gives any idea? Well, I believe that the level of the player should be big enough to understand that something is off. Well, this SCV is gonna build command center upstairs, so yes. the information was read right. The Reaper is being produced as a defensive, so basically there will be a full wall of... Although the barracks actually is placed pretty badly in this kind of situation, maybe it will be lifted and landed once more for safer place. And yeah, that's a 4 links running over the map here from Zerg player. I'm gonna try to do some damage. Unfortunately, yep, unfortunately for Zerg, the supply depot number 2 has been started, therefore, and there is Reaper already behind the wall, so no success in this one. The links are trying to buy through the supply depot, but the Reaper is taking care of them. And the Reaper could actually be like soloing all 4 links here, no problem. And exactly that is what is happening. It's stutter stepping ahead. Meanwhile, we have again 211 build, I believe, from the Terran player. He loves it really much, I believe. But there is different versions of it, as we have seen. Some are more aggressive, some are less aggressive. We'll see which one he will choose this time. Anyways, the natural command center has been finished, is going to be landed. The steam pack research has been started. Meanwhile, on the opposite side, we have Roach Warren being built, and we have 3 roaches on the way from the Terran, from the Zerg player, and lair on back of it. Well, the Reaper has arrived. Will Reaper see? Yeah, Reaper sees the roaches going over the map. That's a 3 roaches actually. And then Zerg player goes for drones. So that's 3 roaches. 3 roach aggression. Is that a thing? I think that is a little bit iffy. Because roaches versus marines are... no. If you make Ravagers, then maybe. But the roaches, even though they're armored, they do not do much damage, and those marines will get rid of them fast. Yep, that's exactly what happens. The roaches goes in, sees a lot of marines in bunker, and just makes a walk of shame back home. Meanwhile, again, we have the Spire being built. So, yeah, Draco wants to make those mutas happen. Anyways, he's taking the 3rd base, taking the 3rd gas, droning a little bit, I believe. Yeah, and yeah, meanwhile on the opposite side we have 1 siege tank, defensive siege tank already here, a lot of marines. Excuse me, it's late for me. Yeah, the marines are done. I believe the medivacs are being built. Yes, medivacs are being built. There is no reactor, unfortunately, here. Yeah, so the siege tanks were pushed faster because of those roaches. But it looks like it's gonna be 2 medivacs, 2 siege tanks, and 16 marines, which are going to be pushing forward towards the Zerg player once again. Well, the Spire is finished. There are 4 gases, and yeah, the Zerg player saw the push out, so he decides to go for as much roaches as possible. That's 9 roaches joining in and 4 Ravagers. So Ravagers are there to bile down the siege tanks, and the roaches are there to tank the damage. And hopefully defending the 3rd base is their goal, or the thing that they will achieve. That's one of the siege tanks down. That's 1 Ravager also going down. And the marines are marching into the mineral line. That's 5 drones going down, and that's the siege tank number 2. Successful biles, but unfortunately the roach army has been depleted right now. Well, the medivacs are evacuating from the 3rd base. They are using the triangle of base ability here, that they can just juggle the units around, and that's why Draco is splitting the roaches here, sending 4 defensive over here, and the rest of them over here, pinning down the army, so there is no way out for them. Trying to ban down the medivacs. Yeah, the medivacs could be, like, if you had all the roaches as a Zerg player, had all the army on here, then basically the medivacs could drop the marines and try to snipe down the 3rd base. Oh, meanwhile, we have 5 Mutas already out, I believe. Or, yeah, I think it's 5. Yes, it's 5 Mutas already out. The third base was saved. Couple of roaches are staying still here and pinning down the army. And those Mutas might be running into the mineral lines. There are no missile turrets. NG base have been finished. There is 1-1 coming up. Mutas will surprise the Terran player a little bit. There they come, and they are starting to do economical damage over here, trying to level out the lost worker count, and they are successfully doing that. The Marines are being called back to do as much damage as possible and defend their mineral lands. The missile turrets are being built, but the Mutas are doing pretty good job harassing. Well, the missile turrets are built only in natural right now, 2 of them. The main base, unfortunately, not getting any missile turrets yet. No, there is one coming up, so the Terran player is feeling safe against this. On the back of this, we had Nidus Swarm, which is going to be popping out over here. Well, again, the base trade situation is happening, I believe. Or the Terran player has not spotted this happening. There is one siege tank over here that's not sieged yet, and it might be just going down. Yes, indeed, the base trade is happening. There is a lot of roaches over here. Meanwhile, the Terran player is pushing with 2 siege tank, 4 medivacs here to the natural base. Again. Draco is saying again, and that's indeed happened in previous game. This time the drones are being saved and every unit and everything is being saved towards the Nidus Swarm. So basically the Terran main base will become Zerg's base if all the buildings are going to be shut down. And that's how it looks like. The third base goes down, the natural goes down, and the main base is the only one left. For some, yeah, there is infestation, but the overlords are trying to balloon themselves out of into emptiness so they can save themselves. So the more roaches are turned into ravagers. The main base of the Terran is being taken over by the Zerg player over here, and that's a big roach and ravager ball right now. This orbital should be saved by lifting it, and answer is no. That might be no more command centers for Terran. So basically only building that the Zerg is going to have soon after these gas extractors are going down is going to be hatchery over here. And Terran actually had an SCV with him. And the Mutas are finding it GG's called, and Draco takes game number 3 and he's winning the whole tournament. That was funny.